Well, hi guys, Utah Steve, finally back for another video. Today I'm answering the questions I was asked on my last video, my channel update, where I talked about Q&A. Surprisingly, I got a whopping 6 questions. I will have another video after this that I'll get to in a little bit that will be a little more exciting to watch, but in the meantime, we're going to go through my little list of Q&A, the questions some of you asked me, and let's just get started. First of all, John would like to see more gear reviews and also wants to know, can you eat the salt deposits at the Great Salt Lake? Great questions. Yeah, I don't mind doing gear reviews. I used to do a lot of them. If you look way back in my video catalog, I guess, I don't have hundreds of videos, but way back as in time frame, you'll find some where I reviewed this tent and that tent and this piece of gear and that piece of gear. I even used to accept offers from companies to you know what? My dog is being gross, and I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to have to kick him out of the room. That's going to be part of this video, too. Bob, go. Okay, sorry about that. I don't buy a lot of gear. I have to really want a piece of gear. It has to really excite me in order for me to want to purchase it, use it, test it, maybe make a video about it. My channel was never really meant to be a gear review channel. Having said that, I'm not against it. Much of the last few pieces of gear I've received have been donated to me by friends, given as a gift, that kind of thing. And I have yet to test them or review them because I thought this would be the year that I would tear into that. So yes, you can look forward to those coming up. What do you guys think? Do you think it's appropriate to do gear reviews when some of you may not be working because of the current world situation? I don't know. But in fairness, it might not be a bad idea because this is gear I already own. I didn't go out and buy it. So I don't know. I'll think about that one. I have had that question from time to time from other people, and we'll see. Now, as for the Great Salt Lake, can you eat the salt deposits? Well, here's the deal with the Great Salt Lake. The water is incredibly salty. The only thing that can live in it is brine shrimp / sea monkeys. No fish whatsoever live in the Great Salt Lake. The sand itself is incredibly salty. There are crystals that grow all over the place randomly. Sometimes on plants, you'll get a plant kind of flopped over with all these incredible salt crystals all over it. I have tasted it. You can dip your finger in the water and lick it, and it's incredibly salty. Like, you think table salt is salty. This is not refined. This is incredibly salty water. So yes, you can taste it. I wouldn't eat it. In fact, when you swim in that lake, sometimes people do, they even have freshwater showers in certain locations around the Great Salt Lake where you can shower the salt off your body before getting it in your car and destroying your car. Your skin, when you get out of the Great Salt Lake, just feels tight and dry and withered and old. Almost like you fell asleep in a tanning booth for 10 years. And yeah, it can be pretty overpowering. It's high concentration of salt. So taste it, yes, but John was asking if you could eat it. I would highly not recommend that unless you want your kidneys to shut down. Okay, it's not that bad, but most people don't. They taste it just out of curiosity, and that's good enough. So there's that question answered, hopefully to your liking. Oregon Mike asks, what editing software do I use, and do I own or rent my house? Okay, 2 great questions. One, I have not found the ultimate editing software yet. Right now I'm using a freeware called OpenShot. Before that I was using a freeware called Shotcut. Prior to that I used Windows Movie Maker, which, honest to God, it was the best one I've used. It was user friendly, I could put text, I could do the transitions I like. I did everything I ever wanted to do on that. I edit very simply, I don't go too nuts with it. And I'll tell you, it was good software. But, as you may or may not know, Microsoft quit making it with Windows 10. So I upgraded my computer for better video editing, you know, a big beautiful computer, and looked everywhere on there for Windows Movie Maker. Where is it? So I Googled it and they quit making it. So unfortunately, rest in peace Google, or Windows Movie Maker. As far as the freeware I'm using, it's okay. It's not awesome. There's a lot of glitchy, buggy things that it doesn't like. I have been filming in 4G or 4K on my new cell phone, but what I've discovered is if the video was saved on my SD card, the editing software handles it fine. If it was saved in the internal memory, which for some reason if I film this direction, this direction instead of this direction, it can't handle it. It cannot handle. It's too glitchy, too choppy. It's incredibly irritating to edit with this software. So I ordered a copy of Filmora 9, I believe, and that cost me about 35 bucks. It wasn't expensive, and my computer does not like that either. I have a high-end computer that should be able to keep up with any graphics I throw at it, but I've been unsuccessful so far. So 35 bucks later and down the drain, frankly, I went back to OpenShot. So that's freeware. You can try it, see if you like it. There are a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how to use it. That's where I'm at, and I am absolutely open to suggestions because I am dying to find the right editing software that I can feel good about again. I have not felt good about it since Windows. Okay, I don't use Apple products, by the way, so if you're going to throw those my direction, it's kind of not going to work for me. Anyway, my house. Do I own it or rent it? I own my home. It's the only debt I have, really. I have a mortgage and utilities. The rest of my debts are paid. I own what I own. My home is 123 years old. No, it's not haunted that I know of. And I'm very happy here. I live on the East Bench of my city, and it's a very good neighborhood, a very clean neighborhood, friendly. Yeah, I guess you would walk the streets at night and not have to worry too much, at least this part of town. Anyway, every town's got that part of town, so I've lived there too. It's a beautiful old home with just enough of a yard for me to keep up with, and I plan to live here at least 10 years, if not the rest of my life, but I don't know. Who knows what will happen in 10 years. Let's see, various people have asked me about outings with fellow YouTubers, meetups, etc. In the past, I have not succeeded with this. And one of my good friends that's here on YouTube, Joseph Shanks, you'll see him in some of my videos occasionally. He lives clear up in Idaho now. He's married, so things aren't, he doesn't live down here. He's not single. When we met, I was married and lived down here. He lived down here. And a couple years later, he's married and lives up in Idaho, and I'm down here and I'm single. So things have flip-flopped for both of us. So he was one that I decided to get together with and meet, and other people have offered. With my schedule as a single dad, raising 2 kids by now with this virus going on and having to homeschool my kids, I work full-time in a hospital. I'm very, very busy and very, very tired. But I'm hoping that this summer will change things. I will have more free time. my kids will be at their mom's sometimes, and I'll be able to get out more and interact more. If you see me out there, come up and say hi. A couple people have before. But yes, that is something I do want to do in the future. Not constantly, but I do want to. There are a bunch of you out there that we keep talking about it, but we've never made it happen. So I'm not against it at all. I just have had a very hectic personal life the last probably 2.5, 3 years, and it's finally settling down. And now there's a virus, and I can't really get out and do much. So I think it would be fun. I really do. Let's see. Nicole hikes a lot. Hey, Nicole. She wants to know if I still play Bean Boozled with my kids. There was a video on this channel for a while with my kids. If you don't know what Bean Boozled is, go on Amazon and buy yourself the game. It's a game with jelly bellies, and you don't know what the flavors are. Some of them are amazing flavors, and some of them are revolting, like smelly socks or vomit. And then, you know, one is toothpaste, which it wasn't bad, it was just minty. But some of them are really good flavors, like genuinely good flavors. So you don't know what you're gonna get. You flip an arrow and it lands on a number, and or something. It lands on a color. I can't remember. The video's not on here anymore because my kids were in it and I had to remove it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it was a hilarious video. We had a great time. My son Dylan got the worst of it because he kept picking all the horrible flavors. And I'm telling you, I literally almost threw up in that video. It's not an act. I was like gagging big time. I don't have that game anymore since I moved into this house. I think I got rid of it, but my kids keep asking about it. So yeah, it could happen. I don't know if I'll make a video of it or not, but it's a fun game. Might be a good game to play with your family while you're stuck in the house. It's not very expensive. It's just a spinner and a bunch of jelly beans. Anyway, and she also asks, Nicole also asks, have I ever seen a cougar on my hikes? Depends on what you mean by cougar. At my age, a cougar's like 80, so yeah, I've seen a cougar on my hikes. Anyway, no, I have not seen a mountain lion variety of cougar on my hikes. They say that you can live within a mile of a mountain lion your entire life and never know it's there. I don't know how that's true if you don't know it's there. I don't know how to get that data. I don't know. Anyway, no, I'm not, thank goodness, because I've watched some YouTube videos where people are being stalked by those things, and it's downright terrifying. They are large, powerful, deadly creatures, and they're very sneaky. And I'm telling you, I would rather walk up on a bear any day. I've done that, and the bear ran off scared. So did I. And mooses, very angry, mean creatures. Multiple run-ins with mooses. I don't know what it is about mooses. I'm always running into them. One of my adult sons, his name is Murphy. His nickname is Moose. When he's a little boy, his little brother couldn't say Murphy, so he said Moosey, and it just stuck to this day. He's almost 25, and I still call him Moose. He's used to it. Anyway, no mountain lions, no cougars, and no, have not had that problem, although it does get reported. I live in the foothills of the Wasatch Mountains here, and it does get reported. I've had coyotes in my neighborhood. I've had wild turkeys in my neighborhood. There are raccoons everywhere here, so I do live pretty close to the mountains. It could happen. I actually had a cat disappear shortly after moving in here. I had 2 cats, now I have 1. Victor, rest your sweet soul. He was such a sweet cat. Nobody ever reported him missing. The neighborhood's really good about that. I don't know what happened to him. Cougar? I don't know. John, another John, wants to know what my dog's names are and how old they are. Well, let me introduce you real quick. Where are you guys? There's Scraps. This is Scraps. Hey, Crappy, look up here. Look up here. What are you doing? Scraps is a... Hey, stop moving. Not a fan of being on YouTube. Scraps is a German Shepherd mix. He is 7 years old. Born about the same time was Bob here. This is Big Bob, my Saint Bernard. Yes, what a good boy. Oh, you are too. Bob is also 7 years old. They were born at roughly the same time. But I bought Bob as a puppy. I adopted him, I should say, as a puppy. He's a sweetheart. He's also very protective, which I like. Lay down, relax. Scraps is a total sweetheart, but he's a lot more defensive than Bob. Very guarded. He was abused before I adopted him, and so we've had to do a lot of work to get him feeling comfortable again, and I think we're finally there. He's such a sweetheart. He cuddles with me in my bed at night, and Bob here likes to cuddle with me in my bed at night, but he practically takes over the bed. So what I've done is this. This is a twin mattress from a bunk bed that I no longer have. My kids do have a bunk bed, but this is from an old one. And it is the only dog bed I could find that would accommodate Bob. He will literally go end to end, sprawled out across that thing. Come here. Come on. See, Scraps knows this is his bed. Excuse the mess, guys. I'm a day sleeper. I work at night. See, Bob loves his bed. There you go. Find a spot. Trample the grass. I'm a day sleeper. I work nights at a hospital, and I come home, and this is what my bed looks like. I'm just showing you how it is. So Scraps knows he's okay on here. Bob knows he's okay on there. They're my best buddies next to my kids. You want me to pet you? Yeah. And they're sweethearts. Now, in some of my videos, well, all of my videos, I try to include this in all my videos. I have a little mascot right over here. I call him Bob Jr. And this is the Mrs. Bob Jr. And the reason I take these with, it's twofold. One is I want to have this years from now in my china cabinet, knowing all the adventures this thing has been on. And when I'm dead and gone, this will be passed on to my children, and they will know also all the adventures this little guy went on with me. I don't know why that's such a big deal to me. I just think it's kind of a cool idea. He has been on many a mountaintop, many a desert camp, many a backwoods camp. He's been a lot of places with me. Mrs. Bob Jr., not so much, but sometimes I don't take her with. They don't always get along. The final question is from Catherine Gregory, who, thank you, Catherine. My subscriptions have gone up for me significantly. I was stuck at the same place for over a year, and suddenly, and the reason why is because Catherine has tagged me in a video, my most memorable backpacking trip that I've ever been on. That is not an easy one to answer. I plan on putting together that video in the next few days. I'm free this weekend without my kids. I'll have more time to sit down and piece that together. So thank you, Catherine, for the tag. In that video, I will also tag 3 people, as she tagged 3 people, and welcome everybody who decided to join my subscriptions. I really appreciate it. My channel's so small, and I've been at this backpacking portion of YouTube since 2013. So this is my 7th year. No, this will be my 8th year if you count them the right way. Anyway, and I have not blown up. I have not gotten huge, and I'm okay with that. I've never done this to be monetized. I've always done it as a passion and a hobby. This is how Bob keeps me awake when I'm trying to sleep. You're silly. Okay, guys, that's it. That covers all the questions. I will see you in the next video. I hope you're all staying healthy and safe. I know you're probably sick of hearing that. I hope you're all feeling that way anyway. This is a really hard time. Everyone thought this would be the year. 2019 was sucky for me, and I thought it couldn't get any worse. And now my personal life is kind of on its side right now. and I'm feeling pretty isolated as it is. I do mostly live alone except when my kids are here, so it has been especially isolating. So I hope you are all doing well. This has taken, to be honest, a pretty big emotional toll on me. I have had a really hard time emotionally with this isolation. I'm very grateful to live where I live near the mountains, but even though I live right there with them so close to me, I can't really do much right now like most people. I do have an overnighter planned, but it's not going to be quite the adventure you think. Maybe it will be. Maybe it'll work out. I don't want to go into that. Anyway, my friends, we'll get through this together. It's going to be okay. This won't last forever, but we'll get through this and we'll get back out there on the trail. In the meantime, because you can't get off the couch, get outside and have some fun, unless you're keeping a safe distance, blah, 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 because the views are amazing. Do your best, and I'll do my best, and we'll do this together. And I will see you in the next video. I've talked enough. Say goodbye, Bob. Say goodbye, Crappy. Say goodbye. Get away from me. Don't film me. I'll sue.